All right. Hey, Mads. Welcome back to poetry. So today's going to be fun because we actually get to write poetry using all of that background knowledge that we have learned in the last 2 days, several days, on adjectives and nouns. So let's begin. Adjectives and nouns in acrostic poetry. Go ahead and pull your bow and arrow way, way back. Find your target. On two. 1, 2. I can use adjectives and nouns in an acrostic poem about whatever you want. Woo! All right, Maz. So I'm just going to give you a few examples of some acrostic poetry that other second graders have done in the past. So this, of course, you can see for this word, it is fall. So fall turns into winter. All leaves have fallen. L, losing sunlight. L, losing daylight. Acrostic poetry. Farm. So April did this one a couple of years ago. F, feel the beating of horse hooves. A, as pigs oink and snort. R, roaming around. Cows moo. M, making the ground shake. And so you can see they really did an awesome job of using those nouns and adjectives from their planning sheet to create a beautiful piece of writing. Now, I'm going to have a couple of options for you guys today. One, I'm going to show you. We're going to do our acrostic poem together. And then I'm also going to show you, if you would like, on how to publish this. So it might be a longer lesson. I'll let you know when I'm going to go to the publishing online piece so that you can make that choice for yourself on what you want to do. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do, we're just going to get a quick reminder of acrostic. So we're not going to watch this whole video, but we are going to watch the first couple of minutes so that you can see.
I'm reading a poem. My best friend, orange and silly, beeps and blinks. You know who he is? How do you write an acrostic poem? First, you need a subject or something to write about. What should we write a poem about, Moby? Good idea. Next, write down a word or idea about your subject. F-A-R-M. Then you use each letter to start a line of your poem. Even though a subject might be big, it's important to focus on one small thing when you write a poem. Feel the drumbeat of hooves. Animals oink, bleat, and cluck, ringing and singing in my ears. Melody of the barn. Right, my poem focuses on sounds on a farm. Sound, smell, taste, touch, and sight can help you get your message across to the reader. Cute and dear, hold it near. I hear it peep, chirp and cheep. Keep it safe like a secret. That's a great poem, Moby. You used a simile to compare keeping the chick safe with keeping a secret. You also used some rhyming words, but poems don't have to rhyme. What is free verse? Poems written in free verse don't have to follow a pattern. Walk, trot, canter, gallop. The ground stirs and shakes. A flash of lightning across the grass. Who can race the wind? You can use punctuation and break lines in different ways to create a rhythm. Poems can sound different, but they can look different too. How do you write a shape poem? One way to create it.
All right, so you can see, so there's a lot of different ways that we can do our poetry. So here is what our job is today. And I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I know I promised you that we would publish today, but here's what I'm going to do instead. I am going to show you how to interact with some of the grammar resources that we've had. And then tomorrow, when we do metaphors, I'll show you how to publish. So here we go, team. We're just going to dig in. So if you recall from yesterday, I had gotten us started, or myself started, on my own acrostic poem. So you can see I wrote friend, and I think even today I might even change that. Actually, no, I won't, because I want to model it for you. So you can see that I had the adjectives. So I have friend written vertically, and then I have the list of adjectives. I said she's kind, good listener, friendly, sharing, lots in common, funny, encouraging, beautiful, giggle, and I'll also continue to think of more descriptive words as I write. Things that I think about when you have friends, like you like to play the same toys, go on bike rides, share treats, birthday parties, play dates, parks, California, as I started thinking more specifically about one particular friend. Because like I said, it can be easier to write a poem when you have something very specific in mind. All right, so now is my chance. Now remember, acrostic poems can have one word, or they can be descriptive phrases or sentences. It's really your choice, and I'm going to totally leave it up to you on what feels good for you. Okay? So I'm going to do first one, and you try not to use the word friend in your poem since that's what you're doing. So I might do far away in distance, because you remember I told you she lives in California. Distance, but close in heart. And I can end this. The thing that's kind of fun with poetry is that you can write complete sentences, and so I could add a period right here, but it's also kind of optional. So that's kind of a fun thing. Okay? Really long and giggly phone conversations. Okay? I, intelligent and successful. So she's a very smart friend, and she's very successful in her job. Okay. E, I can use that brainstorm that I had over here where I said encouraging. So you'll notice I've really started to use some of my words from my planning sheet as I'm thinking about this. So it's helpful for me to, one, read over the list of words that I had, my adjectives, read over the list of nouns that I had, and use those to help guide my thinking as I'm starting to do my acrostic poem on the other side. Okay, so E, I had said she's encouraging, so that was nice that I could use that. N, and you'll notice, here's one thing also, writers, is that it's okay to just cross something out. When we're drafting, and this is kind of that piece that we have, really the biggest idea is to just do your best spelling and punctuation, but don't spend so much time erasing. So when you're actually doing your writing, I encourage writers to use a pen so that it's a quick line out, and then you're moving on to your next thought. So we're not really thinking, notice what I did up here, we're not thinking about spending so much time erasing, okay? This is a draft, and it's for your own purposes, okay? So encouraging throughout life, okay? And, never, maybe I could say see. I'm thinking like never boring, or maybe new. Let's see, maybe I'll go to, I like this idea of trips because we want to do lots of traveling together, so I could say new, exciting, spontaneous trips and adventures. And my last one is kind of tricky for me, so I'm just going to think. So when I brainstorm, I try to think of things in my head. So she does kind things. She doesn't give up. She down da 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 da. Let me think. Hmm. Da da da. Let's see. I can't really use. I used. Maybe I'll say does things that are. That's an okay one. Not the biggest fan, but for where I'm at right now, that's okay. So you can see some of them just have a word, okay? Or some of them I have a complete thought or sentence. So I want you to see what can you do as writers to take the topic that you chose and then to create your story. So here's what I want you to do. When you are done, and I will put this in the directions, but you're just going to take a photo and add it to that third slide in Seesaw. Now, as many of you have talked to me about, you are loving doing those activities. So there are a few people who had some questions. So let's pretend, let's do one that we've done. So we did nouns in a sentence. Now, what you're going to see is just this. It's going to say, can you make a copy? So I've added this for some extra fun and games, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to click copy, make a copy, and then this makes your own noun slides for yourself, okay? So it's going to turn it in. Now, in order to play the game and to practice with the parts of speech that I've included on here, you want to put it into the present mode. So that's going to look something like this. Okay, so you're going to say this. And it says nouns in a sentence. And what this does is it's just a fun game where you get to fill up the teeth for every time you get one right. So you're going to click here. Let's fill in the mouth with teeth. So click to continue. So you get to click on the noun in the sentence to get a tooth. Now, I'm going to read my sentence. It is hot and dry. Well, those are adjectives. In the desert. Which one of these words is a desert? Which one is a place, a person, or a thing? Well, of course, I'm going to say desert because I know dry is an adjective and hot is an adjective. So I'm going to click on desert. Ta-da! I got it right. Now what happens? So I'm going to click on the next. I can use an arrow key or I can just click on the slide. Now I'm going to show you what happens if you get it wrong. Click on the noun in the sentence to get a tooth. He had a very shiny, adjective, crown. Is it very? No. Is very a person, place, or a thing? No. But we know that a crown is a thing. But let's pretend I thought shiny is a thing because it's a shiny thing. And I clicked shiny. Uh-oh. Click the arrow to go back and try again. So you got to click on this arrow and go back and try it. Yay, 2 teeth for me. Okay, so that's just a fun way for you guys to get to practice the parts of speech that we'll learn along the way. Not every single day is going to have one of these, and some days might look different than others, but many of our parts of speech are going to be just provided. I'll give you a little extra exercise, okay? All right, Mav. So you know what your job is. Your job is to create an acrostic poem on the topic that you choose. So right here is this sheet. Now, if you have a printer at home, you are more than welcome to print off the sheet that I will include in your template. If you do not have a printer at home, or if you just want to draft in your writing folder, just like Mrs. Hampton, that is absolutely okay too. It is your choice. So whatever you do, I'm really excited to see the topic that you chose, and I'm excited to see your acrostic poems. All right, Mavs, until tomorrow, go writers!